Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's video, I'm not going to be playing anything. I'm actually going to be going over something that has been developing over the last several months of playing Horizon 5, and it's the most requested cars in Horizon 5, plus my most requested cars. So basically, I want to be going over what the current most requested cars are in Horizon 5 right now, and I'm also going to be discussing the most requested cars that I personally would like to see added into the game. So I decided to go on to the Forza Forums, which, if you guys don't know what that is, it's basically like where all of the supporters are for Forza, and all of the basically human resources basically is what it is. So I went on there and I just searched up most requested car. And this first guy says, I was looking forward to what the most requested car would be. Maybe a Jesko Absolute or the newest V12 Vantage, but no. Apparently, the most requested car from the millions of people playing FH5 is a D-Class front-wheel drive crap box, which I assume is only sold in Mexico. I don't think the Subaru was only sold in Mexico, if that's what he's referring to. But I agree with this guy. But this is what this guy's talking about, the Nissan Subaru. I have no idea why this thing is the most requested car in Horizon 5. It is absolutely it is stupid looking. I hate this thing. There's absolutely no reason for why this thing should be in first place. I mean, it's beating the SLR McLaren Mercedes. I mean, that is one of the coolest cars in the world, and yet it's being beaten by a crap box from the 90s. And here's just something for you guys to keep in mind. This Subaru that everyone is supposed to be loving, it's not even cool. It's not even safe in real life. In real life, these things have a safety rating of, I think, like 0. I think it is 0. And they haven't updated the styling at all. So, in the game, I believe the one that we have is from 2010. Subtract 20 years from that, and it is the same car that it first was 20 years ago. In second place, obviously, we have the Mercedes SLR McLaren, which, honestly, I saw that in Horizon 3 on the dev version, and I honestly don't know why it's not in the game. I don't think there's a licensing issue with it. Someone will have to correct me on that if there is. And then this next one here is the Fiat Uno from 1983 to 1995. I have no idea what that is. Let's look at that. What in the world is a Fiat Uno? What is this? What is this thing? Wait a minute, was this one of those cars that that Fiat did a crossover with like Mazda for? Because this looks Japanese. This looks like one of those cars that was styled by the Japanese and it was built by the Italians. It looks like it was styled by the Japanese and then built by the Italians. Okay, that one I don't understand why it's in. Oh, hold up, this isn't even like the one that people are requesting. Okay, so even then, it still looks crap. I mean, this thing is horrid looking. So that's third place, and then this one I actually do agree with. Next is the 4th generation Toyota Yaris. That actually is really cool. I've seen several of those. My buddy has one of those. Or no, wait, maybe I'm thinking of the Corolla. Am I thinking of the... Yeah, no, I'm thinking of the Corolla, because I've never seen this before. I assume that most of these people want the... whatever it is, the GR, is it? Oh yeah, right here, GR, right here. Oh, okay. See, now that... I do like that, actually. That does not look bad at all. There's no need to pull up Google for this because the Koenigsegg Gemera is up next. Now, I do just want to say something right now. The Koenigsegg Gemera is coming to Horizon 5. I cannot show you, but I have seen somewhere that a friend sent a photo to me of a Koenigsegg Gemera, basically a Koenigsegg update, or a Swedish update, or something like that. But basically, in the festival playlist, because it actually showed off of an image of a festival playlist, in the festival playlist screenshot, it showed off a Koenigsegg Gemera. And I think it was either you get 80% for the festival playlist, or you get like 40 points or 20, I don't know what. All I know is that I did actually see this thing in a future playlist. Now, that could have been photoshopped and faked, but I swear to God, it looked real. Regardless, I know for a fact this car is coming. I just don't know when, but it will be.
Yeah, that I talked to somebody from, well, not from Playground. I sent that screenshot to somebody. They confirmed it. It's actually photoshopped. It's not a real update.
Okay. Still, it is a fantastic. I would totally believe that it is actually a really good screenshot in Photoshop. Props to that guy then. Now, okay, this next one I'm really excited for because I'm just waiting. Actually, I don't even know if this car is going to be coming to Horizon 5. I can see it being in Motorsport 8. It's the Bugatti Bolide, and I have the Lego of this thing. I have the yellow Lego of it. It's actually a really cool car. It has like 1,800 horsepower. It's like the most powerful Bugatti ever made, or something like that. And its top speed is rumored to be 300 miles an hour. Now, I say rumored because there is no actual confirmation as to how fast it goes. People have been saying that it can go up to, like, you know, usual Bugatti speeds, which is like, you know, 250 or something like that. I say that, but a few years ago, the Chiron Super Sport recently went up to like 300 or something like that, but that wasn't road legal. That was just a prototype car, so that couldn't be registered. This one, however, I think is actually able to go up to 300 miles an hour, and you can buy this and drive it on the road. I think. Someone will have to correct me on that if I'm wrong. And then we have the 1996 to 2001 Toyota Chaser. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Hold on. Okay, so
you're thinking about the one that Adam LZ has.
This is the one that he has. Okay. So, I actually have a soft spot for JDM cars like this because for some reason over the last couple of years I've just become like a JDM nerd. And when I look at this thing, I respect this thing. You know, it's a nice. It honestly reminds me of the Skyline GTT. I think that's the only reason why I do like this thing, because it looks like the 4-door Skyline R34 from back in the day. It does look nice. It looks like a BMW from the front, judging by some of these images that I'm looking at right here. I've heard good things about this car, and I can see this being on one of the most requested cars. So I honestly don't know why the Tsuru was the most requested. If this was the most requested car, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But because the Tsuru was, I do have a problem with it. Yeah, everyone's just talking about the Tsuru. This is just stupid. Oh, okay. This is what I was talking about. This is the crash test. 2015 Nissan Tsuru. Okay. This is clickbait right off the bat. That's not 2015. That's probably 1995. Because that's when this car was made. Maybe even the 80s.
So, okay, so it looks like the same from 95 to 2010.
I know. And this one says 2015. It's just ridiculous, dude. Okay, so this one guy put in his own, you know, choices for being in the game. I actually agree with some of these. The Range Rover Evoque convertible. I've seen that. I don't really agree with that one. It's kind of it's sort of stupid. Not the Evoque, the Evoque convertible. Because I like the Evoque because it's some sort of like a budget Range Rover. If you can't afford a Defender or a Sport, you can get the Evoque. I almost bought one. Thankfully I didn't, because I honestly just can't really see myself driving it, but it's not that bad. Okay, and then this guy says he wants the Yaris GR. I already looked at images of that. I agree with that one. I quite like that car. Oh shoot, this is the 911 Dakar that I was talking about in the last video. That was like the Huracan Storado. Oh, that's also another one of my most requested cars. Okay, this guy actually has some cool ones too. I actually agree with some of these. He says he wants the Yaris GR. He says he wants older Saabs before the Chinese bought the company. A Saab 900. I almost bought a Saab 9.5. That's that wagon. It's a 250 horsepower 4-cylinder wagon. I almost got one since, you know, Saabs are no longer being made, that, you know, the parts to get to, you know, supply for them are really expensive, so I couldn't get one. When I look at this last one that he says he wants some Suzukis. And he says he wants the Jimny, the Swift, and the Escudo.
Whoa, the Jimny?
I'm sorry,
but when Jimny so bad.
When I hear this guy say he wants the Jimny, all I can hear of is that guy from Instagram, the Australian, and he's like, get yourself a real four-wheel drive like a Suzuki Jimny! Like a Suzuki fucking Jimny! That guy's a legend. We're gonna click on car voting now, which is basically, I'm assuming, where a bunch of people will click on a car and they'll say, yes, we want that in the game. And then the more votes it has, then the more likely it is for it to appear in either FH5 or a future game. And so far, we've got the Porsche 911. I honestly don't really care for the 911. They all look the same to me. Oh, okay. Just for the giggles, I want the Honda Odyssey back in Horizon 5. That it only appeared, I think, in Motorsport 7, and it was one of the most unnecessary but coolest cars in a Forza game. It was like the Prius from like Motorsport 3 or Motorsport 4, I forget, but it's like one of those cars, like, you don't need it, but it's so fun to have in the game. It's yeah. Just for giggles, I want the Odyssey back. So, if I'm not mistaken, people are voting for the Hindustan Ambassador to be put into FH5. Now, that name sounds familiar. Hindustan Ambassador. The name sounds familiar, and am I right? Yep. Okay. So, this. I thought I recognized this. This is basically an Indian converted Morris Minor, I think. This started life as a oh yeah, right here. Okay. It was this episode of Top Gear. Okay. Yeah, this thing was on Top Gear. I recognize this. So, it started out in life as a Morris Minor or a Morris something or other, but the point is that India bought this and they converted it into a taxi, and apparently in the episode this won out of all of the other taxi giants. So the Crown Vics from America, the Beatles from Mexico, the London Taxi from London, and I don't know why someone would vote for this. There's just no need for it. Unless they added a taxi update, which honestly, given how many other cars we've seen in the game that are taxis, the Suru being one of them, unfortunately. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they added a taxi update. Okay, but, I mean, 21 people voted for it, so, I mean, you know, it's whatever. Oh, okay, so this next one I do definitely agree with. Maserati MC20. This was, and is, the successor to the giant MC12 supercar that Maserati did back in the day. It was the legendary white and blue thing with a massive wing on the back. It was huge. This is like the Mercedes AMG 1. It's got Formula 1 technology in it, and it's also got a hybrid V6. I wanted this so bad to come in the Italian update that we got a few months ago, and it didn't, and I still want it to. It's one of the coolest modern supercars on the road. I love these things. Panhard CD. What is that? I've never heard of that before. What is a Panhard CD? Panhard CD car. Whoa! Okay. This looks cool. This looks like it looks like a cross between the very first ever Lamborghini and the Plymouth Superbird. You know, with like that really cool wing on the back. Oh wait, no, it's not a wing. It's like a Batmobile or something. It's got these weird little like shark fins on the back. Looks kind of like an F-18, honestly.
Have you ever heard of the GM Futureliner?
GM Futureliner. The name sounds familiar.
Well, it was like a 1940s bus. It looks like it.
Oh,
And
this thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If just for shits and
That.
giggles, I would like to see this in a
No,
Forza
man,
game.
not for shits and giggles. This thing looks cool. Dude, this was the brilliance of America back in the days, because this is General Motors, and cars, vehicles back then, really, they looked so cool back then. That this design was so unnecessary, but they went with it anyway, and it looks so cool. This reminds me, I know, for those of you who are trained nerds watching the channel right now, watching the video, this looks like and reminds me of the F7 diesel engines that ran around in the 1930s and 40s. It looks like one of those diesel engines. These things, it looks cool. Was there only ever one of these made, Xavier?
I don't know. I do remember.
Oh wait, no, there wasn't. There was like one. Oh, actually, duh. There's one image right here.
No, I do remember. There's this one shop in, I think it was Salt Lake City, Kindigit Designs. They did a restoration on one, and I think it took them almost a year or two just to restore the whole bus in its entirety, and even try to customize it.
Oh yeah.
They even put a jet
right
engine in the freaking future
engine?
liner. Now, the thing is, it's not powered by the jet engine, but it is
well, then what's
just
the
for
jet there
show.
for?
It's just for show. It is
So it
just
doesn't
for
work?
show. Yeah, and it's sold at Barrett Jackson for $4 million.
God, it looks $4 million. I would buy it for that much. It looks like it would be worth $4 million. Oh yeah, this thing is just beautiful. I actually quite like this. I've seen pictures of this from a few years ago, and I didn't know what it was since I was looking at milk trucks at the time. I don't know why, for some class project, I think. But I mean, oh my god, this thing is just beautiful looking. My uncle would go crazy about this thing. My uncle's crazy about this sort of thing from the 50s. Oh my god, that just looks amazing. This guy requested the Pembleton V Sport. That sounds like a sports car.
That sounds familiar.
Pembleton V Sport. Either it's a modern sports car. Oh. Oh. It's a Morgan three-wheeler. It looks exactly like the one that we. It looks exactly like the one we have in Forza Horizon 3 and 4 and 5. Oh my god. Ron Motors. What does that look like? Hold on.
I'm gonna send you a link.
Holy crap. Okay, this thing looks cool. This reminds me of the Donkervoort. I think is that how you pronounce it? Donkervoort?
Donkervoort.
It's from the Netherlands. It's Dutch. So I'm just gonna stop at these four cars. I've absolutely no idea what they are. I'm gonna put pictures of them up here on the screen just for you guys to check them out. But basically, these are cars that people, individual human beings, placed on the Forza Forums and said, I want this to be put in the game. And if you look, some people actually voted for these things. I mean, like 3 people voted, 2 people, 18, 250. I mean, the list goes on. I guess it's at this point in the video, I should probably get down to the cars that I would like to have in Horizon 5, and my list is actually pretty easy. I guess starting off with number 5 would have to be the Lamborghini Revuelto. It's basically the new hybrid successor to the Aventador. And I have to say, I'm honestly genuinely surprised that we haven't gotten it already. That's number 5. I guess number 4 would have to be possibly the Polaris Slingshot. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, oh god, why? It's a 3-wheeler, and I want you to pause right there, because yes, it is a 3-wheeler. I want the Slingshot in Horizon 5 for the very reason that it is a 3-wheeler, because it's just one of those funky cars, and at this point in, Forza Horizon 5's timeline and what the developers are doing, I think it's safe to say that they love funky cars. So the fact that, you know, like, we haven't gotten the Polaris Slingshot yet, I'm a little disappointed because it is a really cool car. I don't even think it's a car. I think it's like a motorcycle. Like, it's registered on the road as a motorcycle, but
Yes.
it is still a funky looking vehicle nonetheless, and I really want that in the game. I guess you could say that my third requested car for this game would probably have to be something called the Avtaras Shaman 8x8. It's like it's a Russian 8-wheel drive tank, pretty much. It's something that we've never seen before. I mean, we've gotten 6x6s already in Horizon 4 and 5. We've gotten the first 6x6 trucks in Forza Horizon 4. And then we've gotten the first ever 6x6 car in Forza Horizon 5. That being, you know, that weird looking flip car that can't flip. I wouldn't call this one of my most requested cars, but just for giggles, I want the Dacia Sandero in Horizon 5. And I guess you could say also for second place, I want the Covini C6W in the game. It's like a retro supercar that's also 6-wheel drive. One of the first, I think it is the first ever. If this ever gets added into Horizon 5, I will flip out. And then I think, inevitably, my most requested car for Horizon 5, from my home state of Washington, the SSC Tuatara. I've gone on about this car so many times in previous videos, and I honestly think my opinion needs to be heard because it is just one of the coolest hypercars on the planet. I'm not even sure if it's a hypercar. I think it was categorized as a mega car. I flip out all over this thing. I mean, it looks like an SR-71 Blackbird for the road. I mean, the styling of it, it's black and it has red stripes all over it. If it ever does get added into Horizon 5, it needs to be able to reach 300 miles an hour bone stock because the Hennessy Venom F5 can do that, and the Venom F5 needs a rival. It would be so cool to see the two of them racing against each other in a game. And if the SSC Tuatara ever gets added, I feel like its older brother should be added, the Ultimate Arrow. That was the supercar that got added into Horizon 1, and I think it was only Horizon 1, but I would love to see that and the Tuatara in Horizon 5. Actually, I did forget to mention, I'm probably going to swap out the Covini for spot number 2. Spot number 2, I think, is going to be replaced with the Huracan Storado. I think after the last video I made, it's just clear that the Huracan Storado needs to be added. Elite, do you have 5 of yours, or no?
Yeah, I have some. Number 5, I would like to see Suzuki Jimny. Number 4, I would like to see a Datsun 1200. Number 3 would have to be, I think it would just be the Koenigsegg Gemera. Number 2, a Mazda RX-4 or RX-2.
Ooh.
And then my number 1 car, which I'm pretty sure Forza should put this in a game, the Pagani Utopia.
Ooh. Oh,
I would love to see that car in this game.
I have the Lego car of that. It's really cool.
I have that car in CSR too. It's amazing.
So there you have it, guys. That was the most requested car list from the voters and personal votes that other people were voting on the Forza forums. Those were our most requested cars. With that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Follow us on all of our social medias. We'll see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned for more, and peace out.
It's Muppin'.